Let's welcome in head coach Pete Carroll. And, Coach, I want to begin. After you addressed the team at Allegiant Stadium after the loss, you looked at the tape, and you saw some positives there that you talked about it. Let's expound on that and what you saw.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot to it. We should have won a football game. We had so many ways to win it and opportunities. The defense played spectacular early in the game and just put together a really complete game, all but the last drive when we let them get in the end zone. But it was a fantastic day. Maxx had a great day. He was all over the place, and he continues to play like that. That's not just this game. He's been playing like that. But he was a huge factor in the game. 3 knockdown passes and a pick, a great day. But so that part of it was obvious. There was a lot of talk in shows like yours about the running game last week and where is it and all that kind of stuff. Well, we ran the hell out of the football. And Ashton did just like he's been doing. He got enough chances. He got enough space, and he showed you that he can smoke it from anywhere in the field, and that was awesome. We also protected the quarterback. We didn't, no sacks. So we needed to work together better. Gino gets all the heat on this thing about the throws and all that, but there's more than that, and we have to just clean stuff up and get more precise about how we're defending the football too sometimes, and so we could do that better. What comes out of the game is really a very optimistic look at what we potentially can become. When the running game goes like that, JT, it affects everything, and if we can continue to find, really legitimate force with Jeanty and with Raheem, who did very well in his spot playing, then that sets everything in motion and rounds us out as a football team. So we're still growing, and the players understand that. They don't want to hear it any more than I want to have to say it, but we're still growing, and we're not getting the wins to show it. But it's coming, and so I was very excited about our club coming out of that film session. When I went in, I was not very excited at all, I promise you.
With Colton, we're going to wait for you to make the announcement on his health when it's right here, but if he's going to be down for a little bit here, what have you done with competition, looking for the best 5 from the offseason and up until now that gives you confidence you'll find someone to step in and do a good job?
Yeah, well, the first thing that we do is we'll go with the experience of Stone Forsythe. He'll get in the game. We want to see what Charles can do, so we'd love to play him and get him in there and see how far he's come. He's a tremendous athlete and a prospect that's on the rise, and maybe this is his time. That's where the competition will really show up in practice as well as in the game, hopefully. And then all of the guys are challenged a little bit. Everybody's got to be ready to slide and back up, and the big tackle that comes in, in short yard situations, all of that is up for grabs. Likely that Charles and Stone will be on the field, when that happens. But so that's pretty clear. But Johnny's he's out there searching guys out. We worked some guys out today, and we'll continue to be on the lookout for whatever we can come up with.
One more on Ashton. How comfortable was he compared to other games here? You're working with him around the clock, and he's been so calm and cool knowing that this would happen, and then it happens. What does that do for his mindset?
Well, for sure, it gives him a great boost, and he's rewarded by all of the patience that he's demonstrated. He's a great kid, as I continue to tell you, very level-headed, very even-keeled, but just as much as anybody, he wanted to kick butt too, and he finally got his chance to really break out. The guys did a fantastic job up front. JPJ had a good game. We're glad to see him back in action, so we'll see. That competition will still continue there, but we really liked what he did, and the rest of the fellas. Colton had a very good game as well. Unfortunately, he got banged up. We're trying to figure out what's going to happen with that, but he's going to be out for a while.
Coach, I wanted to get your philosophy around the league-wide on special teams. We're only through week 4, and there's been so many dramatic conclusions. Good for some teams on winning on block kicks, bad for teams like ours that lost that way. What do you think overall is happening around the league with all these dramatic plays?
Well, I think right now it's everybody settling into their ways, after coming out of camp and trying to find it. The kickoff remains a real challenge, to try and figure that thing out. Our guys spent all offseason kicking the ball in special ways, trying to keep the ball away from the returners to take advantage of, that expertise. everybody's trying to. They're trying to kick the ball and get it on the ground, so the guys have to fumble around with it, and then the coverage can get there. But it's been very explosive, and I guess dynamic's a pretty good word for the kickoff, you know. But the kicking game has been volatile, and you know, that has to do a lot with the competitiveness on your depth chart. The guys that come in that are playing those plays and how they're doing. Our guys are young and challenged by it, but they're going to certainly get better. They're getting a ton of work.
Okay.
Our young guys are getting all the work out there, and so hopefully, you know, we can just clean it up. We have to get out of our own way, JT. We got to play football that doesn't give them opportunities, and so that's easier said than done. And but when we do that, we're going to be a very difficult team to deal with, I think.
And one on Geno in this game here, the frustration level because you've seen him sling it and make big plays here, and he's just missing. And some of these turnovers, you said it, they're great plays by the other team. So his confidence level is usually always high here. He has another opportunity on the road, in Indy, indoors, to have a big bounce-back game.
Yeah, his confidence is not gonna linger at all. He's going to be fine about that. He's just pissed that he's in the middle of all that, you know, and he would like to do his part, and he would like everybody to contribute to do their part so that we can make sure and keep the football, you know. And it's a big deal to us. We got to maybe not call that play, you know, to help him out a little bit. That gives him a chance to throw the ball over the middle when there's a guy hanging in there, and so you know, Chip and all of us were all part of that, and so we're working to it. It is not all on Geno's shoulders. He just catches all the flack.
Let's get to the Colts. 397 yards per game, 136 on the ground. Everything was kind of going right for them. They had a bad loss here, but a very balanced team. What do you see on tape?
Yeah, this is a very worthy team now. They've got firepower at the running back. The running back's terrific. Jonathan Taylor's a great player. Their receivers are really good and they're big. The tight ends are a good group, and the new kid Tyler is really a good football player, and they're using him much like we used Brock last year, and as we're using him now, a real featured player in the offense. And they've got a solid offensive line. The new guy is Daniel Jones in this thing, you know, and he has really thrived with the people around him in the system that they're running. Shane's doing a great job with getting him off to a fantastic start. I know his confidence is high. He got roughed up a little bit last week with a couple picks and all of that, but they have seemed to have put it together really well, and they've been wide open, and that's why they've caught people off guard. It's kind of a classic. You start up and the opponents didn't know what to expect from them, and they got off to a great start. So hopefully we can even this thing out. They got evened out last week a little bit. We got to do the same.
He's 72% completion percentage, but 50% under pressure, and you got the guys that can get to him.
Well, we're going to try. You know, we're going to try to make it hard on them. They've used their play-action game so extensively, more than maybe anybody in the NFL, right up at the very top. That's been a real benefit to them, and it's because of Jonathan Taylor's back there. He's a great player. He makes people miss just like Ashton does. They just bounce off him, and they just keep running, and they can't stop him. And so our tackling will be a paramount importance this week in gang tackling him. And you can't assume that he's down. You can't assume you make a good hit on the guy. Right. He keeps going, just like what Ashton does, and it's a great trait for a running back. And I think he's leading the NFL in rushing right now.
You told us that last week, and they backed it up, Devin White. Get to the ball, tackle. You worked on fundamentals coming off the Commander game. That's got to help in this game, as you mentioned, gang tackling, and having a leader like Devin White who's having a big year.
He's really off to a good start, and he's still learning his position, playing in the middle, and as much as he is, he's going to continue to get better. He's really a physical force, and when he hits you, he nails you. And he's a very aggressive, attack-oriented, downhill linebacker like we love, as is E-Rob and Pratt as well. And you mix that with what Jamal has done, you can see a good group coming together. They're still coming together, though, and we'll get a lot better.
What can you tell us as we wrap this up about Shane Steichen and his coaching philosophy?
Well, I like that he's weathered the storm, kind of, you know, and he's come out of it, you know, after the couple of years of, you know, struggling. They've come out of it off to a great start. So a lot of credit goes to Shane to keep this thing together and hold it up, and made a big quarterback decision and changed it. And they still got Richardson, who's a fantastic athlete, but he's he's the backup right now. That move has really proven them well off. And so if they can maintain it, we'll see what happens. You know, we'll try to disrupt him a little bit this week and see if we can throw them off. But he's done a great job, and it's hard to survive your first few years in the NFL as a first-time head coach, and so many things go awry, and it's so difficult. But he seems to have done that, and we'll wish him the best in all that.
Last one, Coach, with the fans. You've stepped up to the microphone telling them what you want to see. Obviously, Gino, you mentioned Maxx having big games. And for the fans out there, another opportunity to go east, early start time, and go get a win.
Yeah, come travel with us. Well, I thought the stadium was electric this weekend, and we wanted to play up to it and maximize that and see if we couldn't, take the next step together with our fans. They saw a heck of a football game. They just didn't see the last kick go the right way, And so these games come down to the last play so often, and that's what we're well aware of, and you have to come through and get it done, and unfortunately it went the other way. But take nothing away from our crowd. They got them to jump off sides a couple times. They were a factor in the first game here. They already, the crowd is a factor, and whether or not they're, people travel well to come to our games. I thought we out hollered them throughout the game, and we had really a great support from them.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you, bud.